what's your experience with the psychedelics and kind of how tell me about that journey?
Growing up, I mean, it started as just, using psychedelics like anybody else would just to get stoned, you know what I mean? LSD or mushrooms, that type of thing. And then there was one particular night that kind of changed everything for me. And me and a friend split about an ounce. And I was just, watching Apocalypse Now and everything was normal. We were just tripping out. Turned around and looked and saw what looked like a translucent hole in reality open up. And in that, you could see through it, but you could also see, like, you know how it is, like when you're on mushrooms and you see things, but you can also see through those things. It's one of the few times, like, with my eyes open, I saw something like this. It was like a translucent hole in reality, and it was like an Indian goddess dancing, and her dance was so rhythmically perfect that it was like pistons in an engine. There was no flaw in her rhythm.
Mhm.
And I remember walking toward that and thinking to myself, I want to go inside there. Right. And at that same moment, when I said I want to go inside there, it was almost like telepathically. She didn't say it out loud, but it was like telepathically. She let me know, if you come here, you die there.
Mm.
And it scared me. And when I felt the fear, that it just went away.
Mhm.
The hallucination was gone. That was the night that I said, okay, there's something more to this. And it took, man, years and years. Like, for a long time, I'd still use them inside. Then I've grown, fast forward to now. When I take them, I like to take them outside, almost always, in nature, obviously.
Mhm.
I like to enter the journey with respect, speak to the medicine that I'm using, you know what I mean? Have an intention of what it is. Even if the intention is just to for consultation and not a specific thing like biting my fingernails or quit drinking alcohol. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I like to have an intention going into the journey. And sometimes it's best for me when I'm not in the right headspace. And I don't encourage people who aren't experienced, with using these substances to use them while they're in a bad headspace. But sometimes that's when I need them most.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But that's also built up over a long period of time to get to that point.
Mhm.
Like, sometimes, man, if I'm not all right, this psilocybin will help, like you said, reset. You know what I mean? Like, kind of clear out the cobwebs and get me back where I need to be and recalibrate, understand the bigger picture and what I need to do to be on track with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. What's your kinda go-to? Is it, you like the mushrooms?
Psilocybin is my go-to. Yeah, I don't really deal with you got to be careful these days. Like LSD, there's no telling what the hell they're giving you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So mushrooms, I like the fruits. I don't really I don't have a problem with it or anything like that, but like, I like to stick to the fruits as opposed to, the candies and chocolates and stuff like that.
Mhm.
If I knew who grew them or saw where they came from, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But you just got to be careful, man. They put stuff in these things, these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's hard to tell what you're getting as far as strength of.
Right. How much are they putting in there? How much made it to this piece of the bar? That type of thing. I mean, and there's also, like, speaking of fruits, from my experience, there's different potencies. There's also different, like, I like to say there's like different spirits for these different entheogens. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
one, like, say Yeti, for instance, may be Yeti strain may, for instance, be like a more fun, you know, it's just more about laughing. And then something like maybe Golden Teachers might just take you really deep. It's like grandfather energy. You learn a lesson, you
Interesting.
come back with something way more serious. So I believe in, like, over a period of time, I feel like I've built a relationship with the spirit of Golden Teachers. I mean,
Hmm.
it's, man, I've consulted on a number of things and come out successfully based on what I learned during these journeys.